Hey guys, this is me, Kevin Murphy, on my channel called Narcissistic Abuse Learning Who I Am Again. It's been quite a while since I made a new video. Happy New Year for those who are new to my channel. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to Narcissistic Abuse Learning Who I Am Again. So today's video is going to be a quick video on why us survivors stay connected to the narcissist after no contact. So, ways that us survivors will stay connected to the narcissist after no contact is by still having some form of connection to the narcissist, whether it's through social media, whether it's through having them on your phone, still having them, you know, check on your Instagram, on your Instagram pages, on your Facebook pages, MySpace for those of you who still have MySpace, those things. So, reasons why us survivors will do things like this is, I've heard stories where the survivor will say, "Oh, I've cut this narcissist out of my life. I don't have anything to do with this narcissist. They have no, that they've successfully gone no contact, but they still have them on their page." And some of the reasons why I hear of why they're still on their page or they're still connected to that narcissist in some way, shape, or form is they want that narcissist to know that they're doing well and how great that they're doing without them and things like that. And the reason why I am so against this and the reason why I tell survivors who have contacted me via email or survivors I've talked to face is you're still keeping that window of opportunity open. You're still keeping that opportunity of the hoovering open. You're still keeping that opportunity for that soul tie to still, you're still strengthening that soul tie. And how you're doing that is you're posting things about your life. You're posting, you're keeping basically indirectly keeping that narcissist abreast to what you're doing, and you're keeping them you're keeping them in the know of your business, and that's not really no contact. No contact means no contact. You cut them off. You cut them off of your social media. You cut them off of your Facebook. You delete them off of your phone. You delete them off of your Instagram. You go completely no contact. And I'll tell you why these survivors will do these things. As we all know that the narcissist does not offer us closure. They don't offer us that ability to end the relationship in a civil way. So usually when you end you end a relationship with a narcissist, it's either they ghost on you, which is the discard phase, or you ghost on them, which is you discarding them. Or it's a grand finale where it's a lot of drama, it's a lot of cursing, it's a lot of going off on each other, things like that. And the survivor is starved for this kind of closure because you've probably been with your narcissist for for months or for years, and you feel that, hey, that this person had to love me, this person had to have had some form of feelings for me, and the reality is they didn't. And we're left in the dust with this desire to close that chapter in our lives. And that desire for closure feeds that need to stay connected to them on Instagram or on Facebook, and to let them see our statuses and to let them see that we've got a new job and that we're doing this and we're doing that. And because we want that justice, we want that vindication that we did the right thing and that we don't need them, and we're trying to prove to them in some way, shape, or form that we're so much better off without them. And basically you're still giving that narcissistic supply by updating your Facebook status and telling them how you're doing. Update, and you don't even necessarily have to be directly telling that narcissist that you're doing all of these things. Just by keeping them on your Facebook page, just by keeping them on your Instagram, just by keeping them on your phone, by keeping them on those forms of communication, you are opening the doors for them to hoover you back in when they want to. You're opening the doors for them to be all up in your business, to know everything that's going on in your life. And you have to realize that you're never, ever, 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 ever going to get the closure that you want from these people. They're not capable of doing this, and they're not willing to do this. So the best thing to do is to move on. Like, if you decided to go no contact with your narcissist, whether it's a narcissistic parent, a narcissistic spouse, a narcissistic ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, a narcissistic friend, and you found these people out and you decided, I'm going to go no contact, you have to go the whole way. It's very imperative to not half-ass go no contact, or I stopped speaking to the narcissist, but I'm going to keep them on my Facebook page so that way they can continue to see how I'm doing, or so that way they can, continue to see that I'm thriving without them. That is a no-go. And everybody is on different stages of their journey. If you're not ready to go no contact with the narcissist, that's fine too. You can stay low contact with the narcissist. But these are for people who have decided to really end the relationship. They recognize that the relationship was toxic. They recognize that the relationship was no good for them. They recognize that they don't like the way they feel when they're in the relationship. And they made the decision to say, I don't want anything to do with this person anymore. I want to cut ties with from this relationship. So if you're going to do that, you have to go the entire way, because you posting things on your social media so that the narcissist can see how you're doing, what's going on in your life, so that way you can tell them, show them that, hey, I'm doing so much better without you. You're still feeding that narcissist. And trust me, they pick up on that. They pick up on the fact that you are still trying to prove to them that you're worthy. You're still trying to prove to them that, hey, I moved on and it sucks to be you, and things like that. No, you want to go the entire way. If you're going to choose to go no contact, you go the entire way. You don't try to show them that you're doing so much better, because you're still perpetuating that soul tie. You're still perpetuating that need for approval from them. You're still a slave to trying to get some kind of approval or some kind of validation from them. So the best thing to do is to just go the entire way. Go cold turkey. Delete them, block their phone number. So that way, if they try to hoover you back in, you're not available. You are working on yourself. You're giving yourself the opportunity to heal. You're giving yourself to truly move on. Because when you are posting things in hope that the narcissist can see that you've moved on, you haven't fully moved on. And you're still connected, and you're still holding on to that bitterness, to that hurt, to that, that the fact that you're wanting justice, and that's what fuels and keeps us hooked on to that narcissist even after no contact. A part of us wants that justice. A part of us wants them to pay for either discarding us, or treating us poorly, or cheating on us, or realizing what they have lost. And no matter how good of a partner you were, no matter how much You served in that relationship. No matter what you did, they are never going to appreciate you for who you are. They are never going to love you for the kind of person that you are. And a lot of the survivors that I've talked to have asked me, like, why is it that I'm a good woman, I'm a good man, I'm a good so and so and so, but they can't see me. They can't see all the things that I've put into this relationship. That's because they had an ulterior motive to be in a relationship with you. It wasn't the fact that they weren't, their purpose of being in a relationship with you was not to share the things the things that their attributes, their energy, their positivity into the relationship. Their purpose of being in a relationship with you was to take from you, to take your energy, to take your light, to take all of your positive attributes. And that's why when us survivors, when we finish being in a relationship with a narcissist, we are incredibly exhausted because they have taken so much from us. They are soul snatchers, they are soul takers. And if you want to go no contact, and you want to heal, and you want to be the best person that you can be in your relationships, and be in relationships with people who will appreciate your positive attributes, who will see you for who you are, who will share their positivity and their energy into the relationship and pour into you properly, then that's why it's very important to not get so hooked on wanting the narcissist to see how you're doing, or wanting the narcissist to to look back and appreciate all the things that they've lost, because they're not capable of doing that cognitively. They don't have the emotional skills, or want to have the emotional skills, to actually see the people that they were in relationship with for who they are, because that's not why they got into a relationship with you. They got into a relationship with you because they saw that they had something that they can snatch from you, and they took it, and then they left. That's why that's why the narcissist is so capable of being in a relationship with someone. They'll use that person. They'll fake and fiend that love. They'll use that person until they have no other use for them anymore, and then they throw them away like yesterday's garbage. And that survivor is left feeling totally lost and confused, because they're feeling like, hey, I've given so much to this person. I've paid their bills. I have given them a place to stay. I have done all of these things for them, and they just left me. And the reason why they left you is because they had no use for you. You were a tool for them. You were supply for them. You got into the relationship for the right reason, because you wanted to share your experiences, your life, and your love with somebody that you felt cared about you in return. And in reality, they did not care for you. They didn't love you. And I think for us survivors, we hold on because we are still in denial in a lot of ways, because we can't believe that the person that we love, whether it's our parent, whether it's our spouse, whether it's our friends or our significant others, would do us this way, and would put us in a place, would leave us high and dry the way that they did. So for my viewers who have decided to cut off the relationship, and you guys are still connected to that narc via social media, via Instagram, because you want them to see how well you're doing, and you want them to see how you are thriving without them, I would cut them off. I challenge you to block them on Instagram, block them on Facebook, block their phone numbers, because you're setting yourself up to possibly be hoovered and then go back into that relationship, especially if you're in a place where you're feeling vulnerable, because no matter how well we're doing without the narcissist, we all have our weak moments. We all have our moments of vulnerability, especially if we're still in a place where especially if we're still in this in the stages of early recovery. We had just cut the relationship off, but we're still wanting that narcissist to know how we're doing. We are putting ourselves in a position to be hoovered back in by that narcissist, and they'll find us because they are leeches of our soul. They have a way of knowing when we're at our most vulnerable. Usually it's around Valentine's Day, which is next week. It's usually around Christmas time. It's usually around our birthdays. It's usually around most vulnerable times of our lives, where we are feeling our most sad. We may even be feeling our most joy or whatever. That's when that hoover will come in. And if you're not careful, and if you're going no contact half ass, they'll pick up on that, and then that's when they'll pounce in. They'll give you that love bombing for a while. They'll tell you all the positive shit that you want to hear, and then boom, they got you right where they want you. And I really stress upon how important it is for you guys to really go the whole way and go no contact. And so that way you don't fall victim to that. So if you are staying in the relationship, if you're staying in contact for justice and things like that, you have to be able to vindicate yourself. You're doing well because of you. You're doing well because of all of the things, you recognize all the things that you've been through with that narcissist. So whether they see or know that you're doing well or not doesn't matter. But the fact that you are able to move on and do well and not care for the closure and not care whether the narc knows that you're doing well or not is a plus. That in itself is justice. That in itself is vindication, because you're vindicating yourself. You're not needing that narcissist for validation. You're not needing that narcissist to vindicate or to appreciate you anymore, and that alone is justice. Not only are you doing well, but you don't need that narcissist to validate your experience. You don't need that narcissist to validate how well you're doing and to be proud of you or anything like that, because it's a waste of time. They're not going to get it. They're not going to run back to you, and they may run back to you, but they're not going to run back to you because they realize the error of their ways. They'll run back to you because they're going to try to break you down again, because a narcissist loves a challenge. They love to get strong people who they can break down, and it's almost like a sick form of a trophy. Like, oh, I was able to break him or her down. He or she thought that they were so strong and thought they were so high and mighty, but I was able to drive her crazy. I was able to, get her to lose her job or get her to lose her mind or, things like that. So if you're trying to desire closure, I wouldn't waste my time. I would move on, cut ties, and go on with your life. So this was a video on truly cutting off the relationship and not staying close to the narcissist or having that narcissist on your social media page in any way, shape, or form. If you're going to go no contact, go the whole way. Don't do it half-ass. Please stay tuned for more videos. My name is Kevin Murphy, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. Take care.